and welcome to week 2 of Camp NaNoWriMo July 2022 for me, Caitlin Asche. Hello. As you guys already saw, I opened the store this morning at the coffee shop that I work at, and now it is 1:10 p.m. and I'm going to get a head start on Camp NaNoWriMo work for this week. If you missed last week's Camp Nano vlog, my goal for this Camp NaNoWriMo isn't 50,000 words, it's 50 hours of work on my city project, this revision specifically. I did that so I could keep track easier, do the math easier for figuring out the equivalent of time to word count for 50,000 words, because the NaNoWriMo website is dumb and only lets you put word count in. That's why I did 50 hours. We'll see if I end up doing it. The results of last week, I ended up working on it for 5 hours and 10 minutes, which equals 5.16 hours. And the goal for 1 week is 10.5, which actually the first week was technically like 9 days because I kind of combined the first and the second with the first full week. It's technically 9 days, but I'm starting week 2 and I'm starting it fresh. My goal is just gonna be 10.5 for these 7 days. We'll see how it goes. Right now in this revision prep, I'm still in the prep stage for this next draft. I am currently working with a physical copy of my city project. I have already transferred all of my beta reader feedback from this last round of beta readers into this physical copy, color coded and everything based on who made what comment. They each have their own color. I have also started what I'm currently working on. I am writing down every chapter on an index card, the important plot beats in that chapter, and I'm kind of stoked to see what it looks like when I'm done with the index cards, because I plan on sitting on the floor and just putting all the index cards in front of me and just looking at it and rearranging things, and then maybe writing a new index card if I'm moving a plot beat certain places. I'm excited to get to that stage, but right now, when I gave this round of beta readers my current draft, I separated it into 2 parts. Currently, the manuscript is 308 pages, and part 1 ends on page 190. It's a little more than half, I would say. That was the end of last week's vlog last night, where I finished part 1, transferring it to index cards. And now I'm going to be starting to move on to moving part 2 to index cards, which I'm worried because I'm going to run out. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to use more than 2 colors because I had one color for one POV and then the other color for that POV. There's only 3 blue ones left, and there's 20-ish chapters left. Maybe 10 to 13 of them are supposed to be this blue color, so I'm gonna have to use a different color. That is going to be the start of this vlog, is me working on more index cards. And then once I do this reverse outline on index cards and actually figure out and move some stuff around, figure out what I need to cut, what not, I'm going to have a finalized version of the proper index cards of what I'm going to be changing, and start drafting again and working on each individual chapter with the plot beats on the index card and all of the notes for my beta readers. It's a new revision method that I've never done before, and I'm seeing if it works for me. So far, I think it has, because the index card thing has given me so many ideas with what to cut, what to add, what to keep, what to move, what to combine. I think I like this method. I'm gonna use it in the future. and with earlier drafts, because I think this is draft 5 of my city project. I'm gonna get started on working on some of these index cards, probably listening to some music. Oh, I forgot to mention, I'm tracking my time in the Forest app, and at the end of this vlog, if you wanna see my stats, I will be posting my stats for the entire week on the last day of the week, which will be this upcoming Saturday. Also, before I get started, let me know if you are doing Camp NaNoWriMo this month, and if so, what are you doing for Camp Nano and how is it going? Let me know. If you're not doing camp, let me know how your writing is going in general as well. What project are you working on, even if you're not doing camp? I'm curious. All right, I'm gonna get to work. Friends, it is Monday, July 11th. I finished doing the index cards. This morning you guys saw B-roll of me working on finishing them up. I have officially worked for 2 hours and 10 minutes today. in sprints on the Forest app, which is equivalent to, I think it was 2,160 words on the NaNoWriMo website based on the math. It's the most work I've done in one day so far of Camp NaNoWriMo. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling optimistic, especially because I really like this method because it made it so I was able to see things that needed to be moved, or like little details that are dropped too late in the story that need to be dropped earlier in the story, and I was able to pinpoint like where they should go based on like what chapter each index card was on. So it's kind of nice to like look at it like that. And I did end up running out of both colors. So the final portion of it is green, like blue turned to green, and then the purple turned to yellow. And there was only one chapter of Gideon's point of view that ended up being yellow and not purple. My next step is going to be tomorrow probably, and I'm going to just sit on the floor in the office and lay out all the index cards in front of me, maybe section by section. Hopefully I have room to put them all in front of me because I want to be able to look at it all at once. And I'm going to rewrite some index cards if I notice that something else needs to be moved at all, or like, and I'm going to use a different color pen. I already used, there's several ones where like if something desperately needed to be changed, I wrote it in like a red pen. And then this time around, maybe I'll use the same red pen so that I know that it needs to be changed when I go back and I'm actually typing and drafting in this draft. After that, I think my plan, sift through the beta feedback again, make a to-do list for each chapter, and also make a to-do list for overall for the entire draft, kind of on the side so that I know what I'm focusing on this draft. I have to go in and rename some things before I get started on drafting too. There are too many names that start with the letter D in this story. I have to rename some stuff. I'm keeping in this story as starting with D is Duvesha, who's my main character. I'm not going to change her name. In the city above Gallia, there are warriors that when they're in training, they are Drukals with a lowercase d and Drukans with an uppercase D. That is what I'm keeping. Everything else that starts with a D, I'm changing. So the city below is called Dorkin. I have to change the name of the city below. And then one of the royal family members of the city below, her name is currently Diane, spelled with like D-Y-A-N-N-E. And I will have to change her name too because it starts with a D and there's just too many D names. It's actually funny because when I was rearranging my bookshelf and stuff last week, because this story's been a seed in my brain for a long time, and I found like 5 different notebooks where I started 1 or 2, maybe 5 pages of brainstorming for this story and then just stopped and the rest of the notebook is blank. So it's kind of funny that it's like it's been a seed in my mind for a much longer time than I thought, I guess. And I don't remember using these notebooks, but I found them. In one of them, I was brainstorming names, and I guess I named this character originally, and then when I worked on it again, I didn't remember what I named her, so I renamed her. And her original name, I think, was like Elisa or something like that, where it was like spelled A-L-Y-S-E or something like that, or Elisa, something like that. I don't think I'll be able to go with that one because I already have another A-named character, and I'm purposely going to try and make it so that there's different letters because I know that's what's recommended for traditional publishing, which is what I'm pursuing with this project. So I have to change her name. I also have to change, there are 3 characters that their names start with a K that are all male, and I have to change specifically one of them because his name is Kane, spelled K-A-Y-N-E. And I've gotten comments from majority of my beta readers being like, I read this as Kanye, LOL. And I can't, I have to change that because I have Kellen is like a prominent supporting character in Gideon's storyline. I'm keeping his name spelled with a K. And then I have Kalman, who is part of the royal family for down below. That's too close to Kellen, so I'm going to be changing his name as well. So I have a list of characters to rename. That's the thoughts I have so far for my plan. I don't know when I'll be getting to that, if I'll be finishing up this whatever to-do list I end up creating this week, but I'm doing as much prep as I can before this draft so that I can just have it ready to go. And when I get in drafting mode, I know exactly what I'm doing because I'm going to be focusing on so many different things during this next draft all at once, and I want to make sure I'm prepared for that. Changing names, figuring out the to-do list for each chapter based on beta reader feedback and what I end up doing with the index index cards. So I'm going to be focusing on polishing and grammar, as well as some plot changes, as well as name changes during this draft. I want this next draft to try and be as clean as possible. I'm going to be figuring out the methods that I'm going to be using later this week, because this week I think is going to be the final week that I'm going to focus on planning as much and prepping for this draft as much as possible. This isn't going to be the final draft before I query, if I decide to query this, but that's another conversation. But I want to try and make this draft the best it can possibly be, because I don't intend on doing another round of beta readers. Once I get to the point where I think I'm ready to query, I may find one new beta reader that hasn't read it before and see what they think. If they think it's query ready, then I'll decide from there. I'm not going to do a large group of beta readers again. This is going to be the work my ass off, make this as best as I possibly can this draft, and then I'm probably going to do one more draft after that that's focused on polishing and last minute plot things that need to be changed if anything arises from this draft. And then I'm probably going to do that one single beta reader. That following draft after this draft is probably not going to happen until early 2023-ish, because I'm doing Project Industrial for NaNoWriMo, and I have to do all the prep for that too before November. It's July, so I'm hoping I can get through, especially with doing Camp NaNoWriMo and focusing on doing 50 hours for this goal. I'm hoping that I can build up the habit of working on it very often again, and especially with my new schedule at work that is going to be more conducive to me writing, hopefully. I'm hoping that I'm able to build up the habit again and not burn myself out. Be consistent again, because I was so thrown off with having COVID and then recovering from it. And it was a good maybe a month and a half before I actually was motivated to write again. So I'm trying to get back into it. I'm already feeling passionate about it again. I think it's working. I will probably see you guys tomorrow, because I have to head to work in about an hour. I'm stoked. Good morning. It is Tuesday, July 11th, and I am currently live for my monthly live stream that happens on my channel every second Tuesday of every month with various friends at various times. It is currently 7:19 a.m. I thought I would give you a different angle than usual because I'm streaming right now, and I thought it would be cool. We're in the first sprint. I'm just doing a short one so that I can get some stuff done that is not writing related, but now I'm done with that. So I'm going to start the vlog, and in the next sprint, I'm going to start laying out the index cards on the floor, looking at everything with a bird's eye view. I don't know how it's gonna work out, if it's gonna actually help me or not, but we will see. And I'm excited to kind of look at it all at once, see what needs to be changed. I'm going to fill in with the blank index cards if I decide to write a new one with changes. So I'm going to have my black pen and my red pen ready to go so that I can do that. We're doing our first discussion question right now, and a lot of good answers are coming in. So I'm excited to discuss that at the end of the sprint. During the next one, I'm going to go to the floor. Hello. It is so many hours later. After my live stream this morning, I ended up talking with some of my co-hosts for a little bit. Ended up talking to Hudson for maybe another hour past everyone else left. And then I had a work meeting, and then I had to pick up my new glasses. And then I went grocery shopping for my mom and dropped those off, and now I'm home. When I got home, I finished up what I was doing with the index cards because I didn't have time to clean that up and finish it up before I left today. I have a new order for everything, and I've combined chapters, I've cut chapters, I've moved some plot points around so they happen in different chapters, and I'm confident that when I move forward, this will actually work out. What I've done, for an example, I will show you this one because the pitch of my story is literally a young girl falls from the city above to the city below. So you know what's gonna happen. What used to be chapter 4 was the fall, and that's the only thing that happened in it. Now it's chapter 3. So what I have for each individual index card, their old chapter number is written on this corner where it's circled, and then what the new chapter number is moving into the next draft is written in purple and it is on the other opposite corner so that I can keep track when I'm doing stuff and maybe copy pasting a few things where it's like, okay, the stuff that's in the new chapter 3 is in the old chapter 4, so I can copy paste it from that. And it's funny, there's some that have completely been rearranged where it's like what used to be chapter 32 is now chapter 27 or what used to be 34 is now 28. So it's interesting how like I've moved around a lot of stuff. So I think that's going to help me in the long run while I'm doing this. And what used to be a 52 chapter story is now 42. The rest of tonight, I'm just going to spend working on renaming characters. And then after that, I'm going to be ready to move on. I'm not going to do it tonight though. I'm going to start naming some characters and I'll update you guys tomorrow. Hello, it is Saturday, July 16th, and it is currently 4:17 p.m. I just got off work and I do have plans tonight, so I'm not going to be able to get any writing done today. I do have to film the screen recording for the Forest app today so that you guys can see my stats because it will reset tomorrow. I thought I would film this little clip that's just going over my stats for the week and wrap this vlog up. Without further ado, here are my stats. I ended up for the total amount of time this week working on my City project for 9 hours and 20 minutes, which is more than double what I did last week. So I think I did very good compared to what I did. It still isn't ideal. That equates to 9.33 hours. The goal for the entire week was 11.2 hours. 9.33 out of 11.2, I think I'm doing much better than I did in the past. And I feel like right now I'm gonna have more time to focus on this upcoming week and hopefully get ahead and catch up to what I did. Yeah, that is all of the stats that I have. Didn't tell you guys, but yesterday I did do a lot of work on it. I didn't film any of it because I ended up having to go into work early and fix an emergency management wise, and then there were still like 3 hours till my shift. So I just sat in the cafe that I managed and worked on my book until my shift for 3 hours, and I got a lot done. I have officially started this next draft. I'm officially done with chapter 1 and chapter 2, but the next time I dive in, which will be probably tomorrow, I am going to just reread what I did with chapter 1 and chapter 2. That's going to be the main difference, I think, with this new draft that I'm working on, is I'm going to be the next day reading over what I did the day before, just to make sure that I'm as polished as possible this round instead of just keep like trudging forward. I'm to the point where I need to be focused on polishing because I'm on draft 5. I intend on trying to make this draft as clean as possible. So I think to do that, I'm going to be reading through everything I worked on the day before I start working on the rest of it. I think that's gonna be my method. I'm already feeling good about it. I completely edited chapter 1, cut a character, renamed a character, changed some tension stuff in chapter 1, and then chapter 2 is now what used to be chapters 2 and 3. I combined the two of them into one chapter. I think it flows much better. And I also had to adjust cutting a character and also renaming that other character that I did in the first one. And then I also had to work on some tension stuff and like change some tiny foreshadowing plot detail already. I'm feeling good, I'm excited, but I'm tired. I'm ready to finish editing this clip into this vlog and then rest up before I have to go to dinner tonight. So that is going to be it for my week 2 of Camp NaNoWriMo weekly vlog. Let me know how your Camp Nano is going in the comments down below because I want to know. I want to support you and your writing. And also, if you're not doing Camp NaNoWriMo, let me know what you're working on in general. How's your writing going? Because I'm curious. My name is Caitlin Asche. My channel is a barista's writing journey. If you liked this video, give it a big thumbs up. If you want to see more content from me, hit that red subscribe button down below, and I will see you for next week's vlog.